Good afternoon, class. My name is Savon Kelman, and this is my two-part questions to the readings related to state and federal government and higher education. Before I start, I will be looking down, up and down at the camera because I have short memory and I need to follow what I am saying right now. So, I'm going to start off with question number one. What are the key roles that the state and federal government have and continue to play on our higher education system? And how have these roles differed? So, based off the readings and information that I gathered, the federal government has played a minor role in education. They didn't issue any educational policies until 1960. The federal laws impact on educational concerns by having equal access to education, by having students constitutional right and teacher constitutional rights. Education is not exactly a constitution right, but it protects students discrimination based on their race, their gender, their religion, or disabilities, or ethnicity through the 14th Amendment. The federal government plays a role in evaluation each school district by administering the National Assessment and Educational Process, also named as the Nation Report Card. Roughly 3% of the federal budget is spent on education as of 2017. That is a small portion, but as the years goes on, it adds up to billions of dollars. And most of the money goes towards institution programs for children with disabilities. The rest of the money is distributed to schools district under the Every Student Success Act. So moving on to the state authorities. The state mainly responsible for maintenance and operation of public schools. The state are also heavily involved in the establishment, selections, and regulations of curriculum, teaching methods, and instructional materials in the school systems. So each state has different standards and policy which may impact the quality of education offered. State legislators have set mandatory requirements for students to graduate. Each state's constitution requires to provide a school system where children may receive an education. So moving on to question number two. In what ways has the government intervention both helped and hindered higher education? So, the government has, the government has helped colleges yield average large returns of individuals and have significant benefits for society as a whole. So, without the government support, the market would produce less than the amount of education, optimal amount of education. And the benefits of higher education, they do not stay within the state line. So underinvestments in one state has implication for well-being in other states. This, and also the government share of funding coming from the government has grown. The variation in post-secondary institution and credentials has increased. An increasing share of Americans have distributed almost $160 billion in financial aid to students and twice the amount appropriate by the state government for higher education in the year 2015 and 2016. So this has concluded my two-part questions to chapter 6, and thank you for listening. Bye-bye.